Have no fear, Hippie here is here, and today we are going to see what appears on YouTube. We are going to be watching a video by Otzdarvas talking about chess and the different mechanics of them. See what we can learn today. There's a bunch of different gimmicks and things you can do with chess, and I would really like to learn more about the mechanics. Make sure you give Otz a like and follow. He definitely deserves it. One of the best content creators out there. And let's get into it.
Gym and Dead by Daylight have a lot in common. They're both filled with sweaty people, but unlike at your local gym, in Dead by Daylight, nobody wants to do chess. Chess have been in the game for many years now, virtually unchanged, and they are pretty useless and not worth considering for the most part. It takes you about 12 seconds to open and pick up the item from a chest, a little bit less if you know how to skip the animation, and you get a random item. This random item could be a green key, which is basically useless, a green map, which does very little, or a toolbox, which saves you time on a generator, but it also takes more time to get than it saves you on the generator, so yeah.
Yeah.
It's really not a very consistent mechanic. Why would you risk getting a bad item and waste time in game when time is so precious, while you can perfectly okay bring a item from your loadout? There is nothing preventing you from bringing the best possible item every game if you wish to do that. So chats have always been really subpar. Now, does behavior identify this as a problem? Do they aim to change chests or add more risk to more reward to the risk that it takes to open a chest? No, instead they keep making new perks and new perks and new perks related to chests, which makes the situation arguably even worse. We're gonna go very quickly over the 12 or so perks that affect chests and just explain just how
Oh, I need
bad
to go
they are.
down.
Now, I'm not gonna talk about the perks that show you where the chests are or that affect the speed at which you open chests very minorly. That's okay, those are very minor effects. Let's talk about the perks that actually give you good effects or strong effects when interacting with chess. The best one possibly is Pharmacy from Quentin Smith. This perk removes the RNG from searching a chest by guaranteed giving you a medkit when you're injured. This is huge. It also makes you open it faster. It's so
It
nice. This
also
is
gives
actually a
you the
really
best
decent
med
trade-off
kit.
and one of the best chess perks. Not as good as it used to be because grid medkits now are not as strong, but still.
They're
We
not?
then have Lara's
I
perk,
thought they were always
Hardened.
pretty
You
strong.
need to do a chest and a totem, which is a bit of side questing, but in exchange for this side quest, you get a really nice effect. You're immune to screams, and you see the aura of the killer at selected moments, like when you get hit or any other time you would scream. Not too bad. I like this kind of side quest thing. It is a little bit much, but you know, you can make a build around this. I personally quite like it. Plunderer shows you the
Yeah.
aura of
With Harden, I feel like it's the side quest is really cool. I do not particularly care for it too much, just based off of I've been running it in different builds, trying to figure out what I could do with it, and it takes a long time to really get activated, and then you really do not get much benefit from it unless you have like a perk like team partner or object session. Object assassin makes doing the side quest more challenging. Um, but I have found a perk on this list that actually does benefit working with Harden, and we'll go into it here in a little bit.
chess, but critically, it also increases your chances to get a higher rarity. It is a bit of a gambling perk, but increasing your rarity is typically a good thing no matter what
I
item you
forget
get,
it
so hey, that's
increases
pretty
the
nice.
rarity.
We then have Residual Manifest, the perk that makes killers blind. They don't see auras. And this one is not too bad. This perk allows you to rummage through a chest. And if you rummage through a chest, means you search it twice, and you'll get a guaranteed yellow. Now, I know most people that run flashlights are not necessarily trying to use flashlights to win the game. They just want to have fun. They just want to, get a flashy save or whatever. So if you don't
Yeah.
mind wasting time and you
It
want to go for
also
a flashlight,
synergizes
this perk
very
is
well
decent
with
and I
other
think it
perks
works
in the
okay.
game, like
And so
Blast
is the new
Mine.
perk from Trevor Belmont called Moment of Glory. You need to open two chests, which is, I mean, quite a bit of an investment, but then it allows you to heal yourself over time when you're injured, which is a fairly strong effect. So
Yeah,
it's a nice investment.
that's
You
worth
do
it,
need to
I
find two
think.
chests, which takes about 24 seconds to open them. and then obviously more time to find them. And what if your teammates have opened the chest? And what if you don't find the chest? What if you get interrupted? Why don't you just bring adrenaline or a syringe, which does the same thing but without any requirements? Like, okay, it's starting not to be super worth it, but still, healing and being able to heal mid chase potentially is not a bad deal.
Yeah.
But this is where things start to get really, really bad. So the perk dominance, I think, is awful. Not necessarily in terms of like the effect of the perk. The effect of the perk is pretty good, especially on the totem side. But it's awful in terms of design. So this perk makes it so that anytime a survivor touches a totem or a chest, they get blocked for a few seconds. Like the totem part, okay, I kind of get it to protect hexes, but why the hell would you take chests, which are already such a time waste, and punish survivors for doing chests? Everyone that plays killer complains that generators go too fast, that survivors don't have enough side objectives, and we are making perks to actively punish survivors for doing side objectives. And it only gets worse from here. Hoarder is a killer perk that spawns more chests for
Yeah.
some reason, and also
I would say like dominance. I really do like the effects of it, especially with totems, but I wonder about chess. I feel like chess should do like less of a penalty. All they're giving is only 8 seconds. That 8 seconds can add up. And I particularly like builds where you can have a lot of items and recharge your items and just even spawn in items using dramaturgy, which I think is a very valid method, especially over long matches. But let's move on to Hoarder. Oh, no. There
It's a
we go.
long time, a bit less,
That
but
may
still a
not.
long time. You're screwing your team reveals their typically touch chest and side objectives, and it only gets worse from here. Hoarder is a killer perk that spawns more chests for some reason, and also punishes survivors when they touch chests and pick up
I like
items.
how it
The pick
spawns
up item
more.
part I understand more, but I do not understand why you would punish a survivor by revealing their location, and they have no way of knowing that you have this perk, by the way. Typically, by why would you punish them for doing a side objective? I think it's really backwards. And then we have Human Greed, another perk coming from Dracula in a few days, that also punishes survivors for being around chests and reveals their aura, which I think is just like why? Like why? Imagine that
It's
you're a
honestly
survivor,
a
right?
weak
And you're like,
perk.
oh, I don't want to gen rush. I don't want to do it. I want to be a good survivor. I just want to do
From
side
what I've
objectives.
looked
Give the
into
killer a
it,
good
it's like
chance,
a
right?
short range, so it's
And then you use a
very
coin to spawn more
weak of
chests.
a
And then
perk.
now, thanks to this perk, you're screwing your team over. Because now all those chests around the map are actually benefiting the killer by I don't get it, man. I genuinely don't get it. It's just such a strange design. Appraisal is a really strange survivor perk. It lets you do a rummaging action, which basically lets you open a chest twice. So it's like you have two chests
It
on the
is
same
a
spot and you don't
strange
have to go
one.
find another. But it has the same problems as searching the normal chest. It still takes a long time, a bit less, but still a long time. And you're not guaranteed to get anything good. So unless you pair this with, say, Up the Ante, which I didn't include in this list, but it's also pretty good because it
It's
lets you get
is
two.
very
It lets you get
hit or
two
miss with that
add-ons.
perk.
There's just no point to ever running this perk. Yeah, Up the Ante should have been included. If it was included, it would be in the good list. Up the Ante having to random add-ons on an item that you find and being able to keep the add-ons for the next match, that is pretty good. Although nowadays you have dramaturgy, which allows you to spawn items without doing chests, so yeah, really not too good. Then we have Scavenger. Scavenger is a toolbox perk, right, that has some toolbox effects, but it also has a side effect of allowing you to find a toolbox when you rummage a chest. And this whole rummaging thing, I really dislike it. Having to search a chest twice, spend more than 20 seconds to get a toolbox that's going to save you like less than 10 seconds on a gen, it's just so bad. And then Lara's perk, I can't believe I've forgotten the name of this perk.
Yeah. So let's go back to Scavenger here. Um, the thing about Scavenger I do like is because um, it makes it punishes you for a quick second where it does not allow you to actually it okay, so basically the way how it works is you drain a toolbox, then you have to hit 5 great skill checks on the toolbox. Upon completing the great skill checks, you end up receiving a negative buff to generator speed for 30 seconds. So during that time, it's not really efficient to go work on gens. So it actually is a great time for doing side objectives because you're actively being punished by that 30%. So Harden is a great part because you have to open a chest and also do what do you call it? A totem. So it's a great thing, a great side objective to do while you're suffering that negative effect. And while you're actually doing a chest for Harden, you can actually go and rummage through it, which does save some time, which is very helpful because the main issue about doing chests and whatnot is getting to the actual chest. I feel like is the most time-consuming part. I'm not sure about the Zat stats, if it's actually if a brown toolbox will do uh takes more time to use than it does if you're just hop on a gym without it. But you honestly you don't even have to do that. You can just go and recharge your toolbox infinitely, which is really nice. So that's one of the reasons I like it. And I feel like giving that toolbox to other people, or even if one of your teammates has streetwise and they are using that toolbox, they can make that toolbox last significantly longer and get more benefit out of it. Streetwise does not work really well with Scavenger because you do not want to have your toolbox last longer. You want to have it drain out as quickly as possible so you can recharge it as quickly as possible. And you can also pair it with stuff like Stakeout, Hyper Focus, and this next Lorecroft perk that I also forget the name of because it's brand new.
I think it's Skull Specialist. Yeah, it's Skull
Yeah,
Specialist, I believe.
Specialist.
This perk gives you a token every time you open a chest, and then when you do a generator and you hit a great skill check, the generator loses part. Like it loses a little part of its total progress, so like a brand new part of sorts. This effect is quite good. Making the total generator charges less means that perks like Painter's hit
That's
for
very
less
good.
damage and so on. But the overall trait is so bad. For you to genuinely get any value out of this perk, you need to do like many tests. And at that point, the killer has already destroyed your team. You would be much better off just sitting on gens or bringing Deja Vu or Prove Thyself or any other, or Resilience, any other gen speed
Probably.
perk.
It
And
is
oh,
more
odds, but what if the
meta.
killer is 3-genning? What if the killer is 3-genning? And then it's good to make the gens shorter. If the killer is 3-genning, you're still better off with gen speed perks like the ones I mentioned, or even Circle of Healing or some other healing perk, so that you can, alternate and rotate the gens more and more efficiently,
True, I
heal if they
guess.
get hit, until the killer has kicked the gen 8 times and then the gen gets blocked and cannot be kicked anymore. So in a battle of attrition, this perk still sucks massively. Massively. One of the worst design perks in the game, because you need to waste a lot of time on chests that then gets returned back to you, but it's such a bad return. So, with all of this in mind, how would I personally change?
Before he goes into that, I will say that that is a part, specialist is a part I like a rummage scavenger because I'm already at a chest. I can just rummage through it using scavenger. I tried it on pharmacy. It didn't really work too well on pharmacy. I tried it on Elode's part, and that rummage was too inconsistent. I tried Hattie's rummage. He has a rummage. He doesn't. But anyway, it really wasn't worth it on all of those except for on Scavenger, where I actually got some type of value out of the perk. Um, and yeah, during that downtime of Scavenger, when you're suffering that 30% negative effect, you can go and see about using like built to last. You can use side objectives like using specialists, which is very nice for 3 gens. It's probably one of my favorite 3 gen parts. Same with Victorio's part that's based off of the coin system. That is also a very good part for preventing 3 gens, along with like Deja Vu, but you really don't even need Deja Vu when you can just figure out the closest 3 gen by doing a little tour of the map or communicating with teammates. So let's see how Otsworth fits things.
Chests. I think chests should have better items than when you can bring from home. It makes no sense to me that you can spend so much time on a chest and get something that is so bad. Maybe styptics, maybe syringes should only appear in chests. That could be an idea. Another idea that is a little bit more ambitious that I think I've suggested some years ago is that
I would
survivors
agree.
that bring items do not have the items visible on the lobby. That means that when you go into a lobby, you don't see 4 medkits, you don't see 4 flashlights, and then switch to light board, blah blah blah. Instead, survivors select an item, and that is an item that they find within the trial when they open a chest. So, for example, if you're playing Dwight and you bring a medkit with this and this and that, you need to find a chest and open it.
I
Maybe
don't
you would need
like
to change
that.
chests so that
I
survivors
don't
can
like
all
that at
find their
all.
items. And maybe if items have a purple rarity, they could take longer to find. And if they are only just a brown medkit, maybe it's easier to find. So chests would have to be reworked to give survivors the items that they picked ahead of time. That would be an interesting one. And what you could do is, if you have a perk like, for example,
Sell it to me. Sell it to
Residual
me.
Manifest, which is meant to help you find flashlights faster. Well, if you have this perk on top of the main effect, the secondary effect of this perk now becomes that if you bring a flashlight, it's 50% faster to get out of a chest. Something like that would be nice. It would encourage people to learn the maps, to go around, and it would encourage people, you want to do gens? Okay, you do gens without items. You want to do a lot of healing? Well, you have to bring other healing perks. If you want to have a medkit or a toolbox or a flashlight, you'll need to spend a little bit of time doing that. That could be an interesting way. If they don't want to do that, that's completely fine. But I still think that they should give some kind of guaranteed that makes chests more worth going for instead of making perks that punish people for opening chests. I still do not understand what they were thinking with that.
Yeah, I would actually go back in that and I would say that he kind of sold it to me. I feel like I can agree with it now. Um, at first I was thinking you may want to rework it by buffing the speed of chess, but I don't feel like that would be a good idea. I like the customization you have being able to bring an item in a game, but if you're not able to bring it, I feel like it'll be like um an actual what they call it, a nerf to survivors, which I kind of would like to have. Although I wonder how that would affect like low. Well, it would encourage low MMR survivors to learn the mounts. Um, so that would be pretty cool. It actually encourage them not to hide the whole entire game. But at the same time, bringing items in the game has been like a pretty big thing that's always been in the game. So I could see multiple people wanting to leave because of that. Um, not sure. I feel like it's a little too much. I would like things to be guaranteed. Honestly, I feel like rarity of items should be increased in chest. And that they should also take less time to do. That would be very, very helpful. And then to make up for it, I would say increase overall generator time because generators are too short right now. Um, or decrease the anti-camp mechanic. Just or not the anti-camp mechanic, the how long it takes to transition to a different hook state while on hook because they recently buffed it. I did not agree with that at all. So yeah, that's my thoughts on chess and everything involved with it. Be sure to follow me on Twitch sometime. I am using those chess parts pretty recently just to figure out what I like of them. I'm creating some pretty interesting builds, and I am getting fairly good amount of value out of them the longer the game goes on. Um, so yep, I'll see you around. Have a great and lovely day, and bye bye.